Hello, happy Easter Sunday. I'm doing this video on Easter Sunday. So I wanted to go over factoring x squared plus bx plus c. Really, this is the form ax. Let me do it a different color so you can see this. Really, this is the form, let's do white, ax squared plus bx plus c. But these problems here we're looking at today, the examples for factoring. When we're factoring, we're looking for the GCF of the trinomials. Factoring, if possible, trinomials with real factors of in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, including the perfect square trinomials of degree 2. Okay? In here, our a value is going to be 1. Okay, so that's going to make these a lot easier. A value is equal to 1. When the a value is not equal to a 1, we'll go over in chapter 7-6. On the first problem, you can read through it on your own. It really just talks about factoring using algebra titles and other models to try to figure out how to factor. You can also think about in terms of creating a square and a rectangle. All right, but I'm going to teach you factoring using a table. All right, and we're going to look at problem number 2. Really, the easiest way to organize our factoring is to use a table. And we're going to look at our value, C value, and our B value. All right, we're going to look at the factors of our C values. So the factors of our C value, all right, and we're going to then, of those factors of the C value, we're going to look at what sum of those factors of the C values will give us our B value. In this case of this problem here, problem number 2, our B value is equal to 8, and our C value is equal to 15. All right, well, we need a positive 8, so that's going to make things a little bit easier. And since our A value is going to be 1, I'm just going to create 2 binomials. Okay, in fact, when we're factoring, we're looking for what a GCF. There's going to be, in terms of trinomials or higher degree, you're going to have more than one binomial. All right, even if it is a degree of 2, you can still have multiple than just 2 binomials. All right, you could have a third monomial. We'll get into some examples of that later on. But I know when I look here, this x squared, I know that this is going to be x and this is going to be x. Because when I do x times x, when I FOIL this, when I do x times x, that will give me x squared. Okay? Well, then I want to do x times this value here. Okay? And that's going to give our unknown value. That's going to be plus. I know this, since these are both plus, I know that both of these are going to be plus. Okay? And so that's why we're looking at when we talk about our sum factors. Because when I do this x times x, this is going to be our question x. Then we're going to have this value here plus our question mark x times, so plus our question mark x here. Or question mark, not x, question mark unknown value. Okay, so that's why when we talk about here, we're looking at the sum of these factors. All right, so let's go ahead and back. Let me start over so we can clean this up a little bit so you can see what we're doing here. All right, so my factors of 15, I have 3 and 5. I also have 1 and 15. But 1 plus 15 will give me 16, which that's not what we want. So that won't work. But 5 plus 3 will give us 8, which is what we want. So our factors are going to be x plus 3 and x plus 5. Now again, just like I was showing you, we can check this. So we want to check this. Now granted, when we have positive symbols, we don't necessarily have to check. And especially if our a value is 1. We don't necessarily have to check. But I'm going to show you how to check. When our value is a negative, then we might want to do some checking. So x times x is going to give me x squared. And x times 5x is going to give me plus x. 3 times x is going to give me plus 3x. 3 times 5 is going to give me plus 15. So then I have x squared plus 15x plus 8x. I don't know, I went ahead a little bit. 8x plus 15x. That is our original trinomial that we had. So that matches. So these are the two factors of that trinomial. Okay? So problem number 3, I would recommend you take a second and try to do it on your own. Notice here that this is a negative and this is a positive. All right? We're going to be looking at the factors of 24, but then we need to look at the sum of those factors. All right? Well, we need a negative 11. All right? Go ahead and pause this video and then see if you can come up with the two factors. All right? Well, I'm going to go ahead and move. So 24, so we know we have 1 and 24. We also have 3 and 8, which 3 plus 8 gives us 11. Now, let's think about this. If we're adding, we want a negative, but we want it to be a negative 11. But when we're multiplying, it needs to be a positive. Negative times a negative will give us a positive. All right, well, we also want to be able to add these to give us a negative 11. So a negative plus a negative will give us negative a value and sum them together. So our two factors are negative 3 and negative 8. So this is the one that we want to use. Now there's other factors that of 24, but they won't work in terms of the sum factors of the b value. All right, so again, just like the first one, I'm going to do x and x because our a value again is 1. Okay, and both of these are going to be negative. So I'm going to have negative 3 and negative 8. Now, again, the order of these two binomials, I can put them in either order. I can also say x minus 8 times x minus 3. Okay, they'll still give me the same trinomial when I go back. Okay, now again, here we want to go ahead and check. So let's check. X times x will give me x squared. We're going to FOIL. So this is my check. And x times negative 8 will give me negative 8x. Negative 3 times x will give me negative 3x. And then negative 3 times negative 8 will give me a positive 24. And I'm going to combine like terms. So this is going to give me x squared minus 11x plus 24. That matches my original trinomial. So these, again, are the two factors of our problem number 3. All right, I will continue on to the next video where I will go over problem number 4. See you then.